Good day everyone. So this is Sir Tyron and now we are going to study or review all about the Afro-Asian literature or the survey of Afro-Asian literature. I hope you will learn from it. For the instructions, so read each item carefully and choose the best answer from the given choices. This exam assesses your understanding of key concepts in Afro-Asian literature, including ethics, ideologies, and writers. So each question has only one correct answer. Okay, do you understand? So very good. So let's get it. Question number one. Which ancient epic poem from Mesopotamia is often considered one of the earliest surviving works of literature and is a cornerstone of Afro-Asian literary studies? Again, which ancient epic poem from Mesopotamia is often considered one of the earliest surviving works of literature and the cornerstone of Afro-Asian literary studies? Is it letter A, the Mahabharata, letter B, the Epic of Gilgamesh, letter C, the Tale of Genji, or letter D, 1001 Nights? And the correct answer is letter B, the Epic of Gilgamesh. So why is it right? So the Epic of Gilgamesh is an ancient Mesopotamian epic poem that dates back to around 2100 BC. It is widely recognized as one of the oldest surviving great works of literature, making it a fundamental text in Afro-Asian literary studies due to its antiquity and influence on subsequent storytelling traditions in the region. So, why is it wrong, the letters A and C and D? So because the Mahabharata is a significant ancient Indian epic, but it is not old as the Epic of Gilgamesh. Letter C, the Tale of Genji is a classical work of Japanese literature from the 11th century, much later than the Gilgamesh. And letter D, 1001 Nights or the Arabian Nights is a collection of Middle Eastern and South Asian stories compiled much later during the Islamic Golden Age. So that is for number one. So for question number two, which African Nobel laureate is known for his works critiquing post-colonial African society and political corruption, notably in novels like Things Fall Apart? Number two, which African Nobel laureate is known for his works critiquing post-colonial African society and political corruption, notably in his novels like Things Fall Apart? Is it letter A, Wol Soyinka, letter B, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, letter C, Chinua Achebe, or letter D, Nadine Gordimer? The correct answer is letter C, Chinua Achebe. So why Chinua Achebe? So Chinua Achebe is a highly acclaimed Nigerian novelist, poet, and critic. He is best known for his first novel, Things Fall Apart, which is a seminal work in African literature that critiques the impact of colonialism on traditional Igbo society. While other options are also prominent African writers, Achebe is significantly or specifically associated with Things Fall Apart. So, why the letters A, B, and D are wrong? Because letter A, Wole Soyinka is a Nigerian Nobel laureate, but Things Fall Apart is not his work. He is known for plays like Death and the King's Horseman. While letter B, Ngugi wa Thiong'o is a prominent Kenyan writer known for works like Wizard of the Crow, but not Things Fall Apart. And letter D, Nadine Gordimer was a South African Nobel laureate known for her anti-apartheid novels, but she did not write Things Fall Apart. So that is for question number two. For question number three, the concept of karma and reincarnation are central themes in the literature and philosophy of which Asian religion? The concept of karma and reincarnation are central themes in the literature and philosophy of which Asian religion? Letter A, Islam. Letter B, Confucianism. Letter C, Hinduism. Or letter D, Shintoism? And the correct answer is letter C, Hinduism. Karma. So karma, or the sum of a person's action in this and previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. And reincarnation, or the rebirth of a person in souls in a new body, are fundamental doctrines in Hinduism and are extensively explored in Hindu sacred texts and philosophical works. So why letter A, B, and D are wrong? Because letter A, Islam does not adhere to the concepts of karma and reincarnation. Letter B, Confucianism is a system of ethical, philosophical, and religious thoughts from ancient China. And letter D, Shintoism is a traditional religion of Japan, emphasizing the purity and divinity of nature. So that is for question number 3. Question number 4, which Japanese literary genre, characterized by its short three-line structure with a 575 syllable count, often focuses on nature and fleeting moments? Which Japanese literary genre, characterized by its short three-line structure with a 575 syllable count, often focuses on nature and fleeting moments? Letter A, tanka. Letter B, haiku. Letter C, renga. Or letter D, senryu. And the correct answer is letter B, haiku. Why haiku? Haiku is a traditional form of Japanese poetry consisting of three lines with 5, 7, and 5 syllable count. Respectively, it is well known for its conciseness and its common focus on natural imagery and seasonal references, capturing a moment or an observation. So why letter A, C, and D are incorrect? Because letter A, tanka, although a Japanese poetic form, but it has a 57577 syllable structure, making it longer than haiku. Letter C, renga, is a Japanese collaborative poetic form where multiple poets contribute stanzas, not a short stand-alone form. And letter D, senryu, is similar to haiku in structure, 575, but typically focuses on human nature and humor rather than the natural world. So that is for question number 4. For question number 5, what is the title of the ancient collection of fable from India known for its animal characters that convey moral lessons and has influenced storytelling worldwide? Number 5, what is the title of the ancient collection of fable from India known for its animal characters that conveys moral lessons and has influenced storytelling worldwide? Letter A, the Dataka Tales. Letter B, the Panchatantra. Letter C, the Ramayana. Or letter D, the Arabian Nights. Correct answer is letter B, the Panchatantra. So why is it right? So the Panchatantra is an ancient Indian collection of interlinked animal fables in Sanskrit, verse and prose. Its original form, dating back to around 200 BCE to 300 CE, is considered one of the most influential collections of fable in the world, renowned for its moral teaching conveyed through animal characters. So why letter A, C, and D are wrong? Because letter A, the Jataka tales, are the voluminous body of literature native to India concerning the previous birth of Gautama Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha, not primarily a collection of fables for moral instruction in the same way as the Panchatantra. Or letter C, the Ramayana is an ancient Indian epic poem, not a collection of fable. And letter D, the Arabian Nights, is a collection of Middle Eastern and South Asian stories, not specifically Indian people. So that is for question number 5. For question number 6, which prominent Egyptian writer won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988, known for his historical novels and tales of Cairo, such as the Cairo Trilogy? So, which prominent ancient or Egyptian writer, not ancient, writer won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988, known for his historical novels and tales of Cairo, such as the Cairo Trilogy? Letter A, Taha Hussein. Letter B, Naguib Mahfouz. Letter C, Adaf Suhaib. Or letter D, Alaa Al-Aswani. And the correct answer is letter B, Naguib Mahfouz. So, why is it right? Because Naguib Mahfouz was an Egyptian novelist who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1988. He is widely celebrated for his realistic depiction of Egyptian society, so particularly in Cairo. In his most famous work, the Cairo Trilogy, which chronicles the lives of several generations of Cairene family. So while letter A and letter C and letter D is not Naguib Mahfouz, letter A, Taha Hussein, was a significant Egyptian writer also, but he did not win the Nobel Prize for Literature. Letter C, Adaf Soyef, is a contemporary Egyptian writer, but she was not won the Nobel Prize. And letter C, Alaa Al-Aswani, is a contemporary Egyptian novelist also, known for the Yacobian building, but he is not a Nobel laureate. That is for question number for question number 7. So the philosophical and ethical system that originated in China, with Confucius emphasizing morality, ethics, and proper conduct, heavily influenced East Asian literature and society. So what is it called? Again, number 7. The philosophical and ethical system that originated in China, with Confucius emphasizing morality, ethics, and proper conduct, heavily influenced East Asian literature and society. What is it called? Is it letter A, Taoism, letter B, legalism, letter C, Buddhism, or letter D, Confucianism? And the correct answer is letter D, Confucianism. So why Confucianism? Because Confucianism is a comprehensive philosophical system developed by Confucius in ancient China. It emphasizes the importance of morality, ethics, social harmony, and proper conduct in relationships, significantly shaping Chinese and East Asian culture, literature, and governance for centuries. So, why letter B, A, and C are wrong? Because letter A, Taoism, is another significant Chinese philosophy. Though it is a Chinese philosophy, it is founded by Lao Tzu. So, focusing on living in harmony with the Tao or the Way, but it is distinct from Confucianism's emphasizing or emphasis on social ethics. Letter B, legalism was a philosophical school during the Warring State period that advocated for strict laws and centralized power, differing from Confucianism's moral persuasion. And letter C, Buddhism originated in India and later spread to China, influencing its culture, but it is not the indigenous Chinese philosophy founded by Confucius. So that is for question number 7. For question number 8. So which of the following literary works is a celebrated example of classical Persian poetry? A long narrative poem known for its romantic and mystical themes, featuring characters like Laila and Majnun. Number 8. Which of the following literary works is a celebrated example of classical Persian poetry? A long narrative poem from its romantic and mystical theme, featuring characters like Laila and Majnun? Is it letter A, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, letter B, the Shahnameh, or letter C, the Divan of Hafez, or letter D, Laila and Majnun by Nisami Ganjafi? And the correct answer is Laila and Majnun by Nisami Ganjafi. So why is it right? Because Laila and Majnun is a classical Persian romantic tragedy for the 12th century Persian poet Nizami Ganjafi. So it tells the story of an ill-fated love and is a powerful example of mystical love in Persian literature, often compared to Romeo and Juliet. So why A, B, C are wrong? Because letter A, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, is a collection of quatrains, often philosophical and contemplative, but not a long narrative romantic poem or epic like Laila and Majnun. And letter B, the Shahnameh or the Book of Kings by Ferdowsi is a national epic of Iran, a massive historical epic, but its primarily focus is not romantic tragedy in same veins as Laila and Majnun. And letter C, the Divan of Hafez, is a collection of lyrical poems or the ghazals by the renowned Persian poet Hafez, known for their themes of love, wine, and mysticism. But it is not a single long narrative poem like Laila and Majnun. So that is for question number 9. So this West African oral tradition involves storytellers, musicians, and praise singers who preserve historical narratives, genealogies, and cultural traditions. What are these individuals called? Number 9, this West African oral tradition involves storytellers, musicians, and praise singers who preserve historical narratives, genealogies, and cultural traditions. What are these individuals called? Letter A, griots. Letter B, shamans. Letter C, bards. Letter D, scribes. And the correct answer is letter A, the griots. So why is it the griots? Because the griots are highly respected and important figure in West African societies. So they are professional oral historians, storytellers, praise singers, poets, and musicians who maintain the oral tradition and history of their people, often passing down knowledge through generation. Why letter B, C, D are wrong? Because letter B, shamans are spiritual healers or religious practitioners in various indigenous cultures, not specifically oral historian of West Africa. Letter C, bards are poets and storytellers are often associated with ancient Celtic cultures, not the specific West African tradition. And letter D, scribes are individuals who write or copy documents primarily associated with written traditions, not oral ones. So that is for question number 9. Our last question, this is for question number 10. Which ancient Indian epic poem narrates the life of Prince Rama and his quest to rescue his wife Sita from the demon king Ravana, embodying themes of dharma and duty? Again, for question number 10, which ancient Indian epic poem narrates the life of Prince Rama and his quest to rescue his wife Sita from the demon king Ravana, embodying themes of dharma and duty? Letter A, the Mahabharata. Letter B, the Bhagavad Gita. Letter C, the Ramayana. Or letter D, the Vedas. So, and the correct answer is Letter C, the Ramayana. So why the Ramayana? So the Ramayana is one of the two major Sanskrit epics of ancient India. So the other being the Mahabharata. So it tells the legendary narrative of Prince Rama's journey to rescue his wife Sita from the demon king Ravana. So it exemplifies the principle of Dharma or the righteous conduct and duty. So why A, B, and D are wrong? Because letter A, the Mahabharata is another epic, but it focuses on the Kurukshetra war and the dynastic struggle between the Karubas and the Pandavas, though it contains the Bhagavad Gita. And letter B, the Bhagavad Gita is a sacred Hindu scripture that is part of the Mahabharata, not a separate epic narrating Rama's story. And letter D, the Vedas are the large body of religious texts originating in ancient India, forming the oldest layer of Sanskrit literature and the sacred text of Hinduism. But they are not a single epic poem like the Ramayana. So that is for our question number 10. Our review in the survey of Upper Asian literature. I hope this will help you to further understand the deep meaning of Upper Asian literature. So thank you. See you again next time. This is Sir Tyron. Bye!